Ladies and gentlemen.
I can't really heard what Jeremy says because I got my 2 Stanley Cup rings plugged in my ear.
Introduce.
This is a guy that's going to be traded, though.
You're an announcer with a long stick from time to time.
You think it's my fault? Is that what you're saying? This guy's such an idiot here.
The Puck Luck Fantasy Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Puck Luck Fantasy Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Sudemans, and right beside me is your other host, Derek Sudemans. Today we're going to be breaking down the 4-game slate. Don't forget to follow along with us at puckluckfantasy.com. There you will find all of our rankings, best value picks, some stacks, and goalie rankings. Lots of other good stuff too, but let's just jump into the first game of the night. We do have an early game today, and it is the Colorado Avalanche and the Nashville Predators, and they start at 3 today. So let's start with this game. We got Jonathan Bernier. He's already confirmed. We don't like Jonathan Bernier tonight. He's one of our lowest ranked goalies, and I'll mention really quickly, our lowest ranked goalies today are about half the value of our top-ranked goalies. So that's a big difference in value. So it is important to try to get those top goalies in. And then on the other hand, we got Pekka Rinne, who is in our top tier of goalies, him and Vasilevsky today. So we really like Rinne today. You got any stacks we can play in this game?
Yeah, there's a few that you can play from this game, actually. It's probably one of the games I'll be targeting the most tonight. I really like the top line. The top line overall from our model in terms of value, which is the Kevin Fiala, Kyle Turris, and Craig Smith, which is that second line for Nashville there. We saw the last game, it was mostly Philip Forsberg getting it done all by himself, although Johansson had a few assists there. But yeah, so hopefully that means that people will sort of gravitate towards that line, and that really opens up the second line for Nashville. Hopefully they'll be a little bit less owned, and then you pair them with PK Subban, who has come up to 5,300, but he's still right at the top of our defense rankings. So that's definitely that will be the top stack and the top defenseman to go with it. I also like the top stack from Nashville. Not quite as much, since they probably will see that bump in usage, but our model still really likes them. So those are the main ones I see from the Nashville side. On Colorado, still it is that top line from Colorado. They're sort of right on the bubble, but they are definitely playable today, and I would definitely pair Tyson Barrie with them. So if you're entering, maybe over 10 lineups or so, you should probably get one of that top line for the Avalanche in there with the Barrie combo.
Yeah, right on. Those, and Barrie would be the best ranked D. He's way up there for Colorado. So yeah, if you're trying to get him in. And then for Nashville, Subban with that top line, Smith, Johansson, and Arvidsson. They play on the power play 1 together, but also Josi is a super good rank. Maybe you're going to throw in that Fiala, Turris, Bonino line. Play them with Turris if you can, or with, Josi if you can. That's a great stack. We can now move on to the next game of the night, which is between... Who's it between, Derek? My page isn't loading.
Oh, I don't know. We can go with... let's just do the Devils and the Lightning.
The Devils and the Lightning. We got Kincaid is projected, but I do want to mention that he did get caved in 5-2. I guess one was an empty net goal, but Schneider is sitting there on the bench. You never know if they play him, if they swipe him in, so keep an eye on that. Also, just don't play Kincaid. He's our bottom-ranked goalie of the night. And by far, like I said, he's less than half the value of Vasilevsky, who is our top-ranked goalie of the night. So, try to get a lot of Vasilevsky in tonight. And what do you got for stacks for this game?
Yeah, even if Schneider comes in, he's not worth it either. He comes in maybe a slight bit better, but not worth it. Okay, so for stacks, from the Devils, I'll just do them first. The top line from the Devils does pop up in our model. They are, I think, around 5th here, so they're definitely playable tonight. So that's about all you're really going to get, though, from the Devils. Not really a whole lot that's really going to interest me outside of them. And then on the Lightning side, so this is another day where hopefully, since that top line from the Lightning with Stamkos, Kucherov, and Miller, they didn't really do much in the first game. So hopefully the ownership will shift to the second line. So this is another night to really be hammering on that top line from the Lightning. And our model has them second ranked overall in terms of value. So that's rare for a line that is this high in price to be ranked so high in terms of value. So you want to be getting a ton of them into your lineups, as well as Victor Hedman. He pairs with them perfectly. So if you can, I noticed I was making lineups this morning, and it's really hard to get the full line plus Hedman and Vasilevsky. But so you might just have to go. You're gonna have to be a little bit creative because it is tough because you're using all of that salary. So, but if you can do it, that's definitely what you got to try and get a few of those in there for today.
Yeah, and this would be a good time to mention. At the top of our defensive rankings, we have Strawman up there. He's ranked 3,100. But we also have Warsofsky, and he's ranked 2,700. These are both really low salaries. But, you wanted to talk about these salaries and what you need to be paying attention to in the playoffs here.
Yeah, in particular for the defensemen, just of our ice time projection model isn't ideal yet. So Warsofsky is projected to get 15 minutes, but he only saw, I think it was 9 minutes or so. So that's why he's not actually that valuable. But on the other hand, Strawman is projected to get about 19 minutes, and I think he saw over 20 last night. So he's actually slightly underrated, I think. So that will be that's another really cheap defenseman that you actually can take advantage. So just in general, keep an eye on the ice time projections. We're going to be improving that obviously as soon as we can, but that's one place where you can kind of look and see a little bit of the inefficiencies that are still in this model. But
yeah. And in general, just stay away from the low salary guys unless you know something, unless you've looked in and have some knowledge.
Yeah, I'll never play any of the anyone under around 3,500 even. I'll make sure I look up what has been their recent ice time and everything like that before I actually pick them.
All right, so let's move on to the Maple Leafs and the Bruins. We got Anderson projected against Tuukka Rask. Both of these are our tier 2 goalies. They're both decent picks tonight, just like the first night they were. Both solid goalies with both decent chance of the win. Should mention tonight that our lines are a bit messed up for this game. We do think Komarov might be sliding into that number one line with Matthews and Nylander, and we think Janssen will be coming onto that fourth line, and Hyman will be dropping down to that second line, and then Marlowe slotting into the center position. So there's a bit of jumbling going on that's not quite reflected in our lineup sheets yet.
Not yet. Hopefully soon.
It will be updated later today, but for the podcast, just keep that in mind. We're going to talk about it as is right now because we do want to get this out for you early before the first game. So let's just talk about what we got going on for the Bruins and then whatever Leafs lines are still together.
Yeah, so the Bruins, really, there's not a whole lot that show up for them that I like. The only one that really popped up, I wouldn't play really. It's hard to say because I haven't really adjusted for Toronto's defense being a little bit weaker with Kadri out, but it really shouldn't be a ton or a whole lot. So I don't really like any of the Boston lines. They're just a little too expensive. The one that shows up the top is the DeBrusk, Rick Nash, David Krejci line, but that's dipping down a little bit too low for me for the low salary that they're at. So really, the only one that really shows up that you could justify playing is the Matthews, Nylander, and maybe Komarov on that line, because I'm pretty sure he gets on their same power play too, right? So,
no, he doesn't do the
he
power
doesn't?
play.
No, he's on there occasionally, but
yeah, but I'm betting that Komarov will be, and actually it's updated on the site right now. It's showing Komarov on that second power play unit with Matthews and Nylander. Maybe you just want to do Matthews and Nylander. Is that a doable play, just a two pairing?
If Komarov's on the second power play with Matthews and Nylander, definitely take him.
Because he'd be a cheap value pick to bring that whole stack down. And if he can get an assist on a line, then you're in the gravy.
No, that's exactly what you want. So if you get the double correlation like that with the full line and then power play at that price, you're going to be taking him for sure. So just hoping he grabs an assist on one of those goals. You can definitely play them. The model with Hyman in here has the Leafs line at about 8th or 9th or so, which is pretty good. So yeah, they are playable. So just keep an eye on that. But I definitely would like that top line with Komarov on there now, I guess.
Yeah, right on. Okay, and then for D, we got Morgan Riley's ranked decent, and then him and Krug and Chara, they're all in a clump. They're all maybe like bubble picks tonight. There's not really super intriguing D tonight. Plus, none of them pair really well. Riley's with Van Riemsdyk and Bozak and Marner. They still have Kadri on this site, but that's obviously not going to happen with the 3-game suspension. So yeah, I'm not loving any Ds. No super high value picks.
No, it's just maybe Krug if you're going with the top line from Boston, but I don't like the top line from Boston. So I'm really staying away from all of these defensemen today.
Yeah, maybe this whole game is a little bit of a fade with all the complications. Other than that Matthews, Nylander, Komarov stack.
Yeah, I was hoping Gardner would show up a little higher because then you could use him with the Leafs. He's not though. He's pretty far down. So, yeah. So I'd probably just stick with the forwards.
Yeah. So let's move on to the last game of the night with the Sharks and the Ducks. We got Martin Jones projected. Got to shut out that first game. And we got John Gibson projected. We actually have Jones is our tier 3 goalie. And we really like...
I won't be taking Jones.
We like Gibson a lot, though. He is...
Gibson's like our third-rated goalie for the night. Because his price is still only $7,900, which is pretty decent. But like we said, there's the only ones so we like Vasilevsky number 1, then Rene, then Gibson. But Gibson is definitely playable because our model likes both of the top lines for the Ducks. First, overall, we like the top line from the Ducks with Ricard Rakell, Corey Perry, and Ryan Getzlaf. So they are 16-8, which is pretty expensive, but they show up 4th overall in value. So get a bunch of them into your lineups if you can. And then, you can do the Ducks too as well. So they're really cheap. So if you're looking to pair up maybe the top Stamkos line, the Silfverberg, Kessler, and Cogliano, they might be a good one to pair them up with. So
you said Stamkos. What do you mean?
If you're using like the Stamkos, Kucherov, and Miller.
Oh, to get a cheap stack.
You're gonna need. If you want to get 2 stacks in there, which is usually what I do. I'll try to get 2 full lines per lineup. That's probably important to mention because I don't know if many people know that. But I try to get 2 full lines per lineup, and then do a D pair with one of those, and then the other D. But so they're a cheap option. And then you got Montour, I think, is the main option in terms of defenseman that I saw from this game.
From the Ducks, but also Burns is always playable. He's he just seems to always put up the fantasy points, and he plays with that Kane, Couture, LeBlanc power play. Is that stack? You mentioned that stack?
They're stacked. They're bubble play. Pavelski, Donskoy, and Kane now. That's what they would pair with. So they're
okay.
They're a bubble play, but probably won't. Maybe touch them. We'll see.
Okay. Well, let's get over to our Puck Luck picks of the day, where we give some value individual picks and then some stacks. Go ahead.
All right, so in terms of our overall expensive player of the night, we'll be going to Steven Stamkos. So he is, just going to check his price real quick. So he's $7,100 tonight. In terms of sort of a mid price, I like Roman Josi. He is at $6K. Then I like Fiala and sort of a mid-range or mid-lower range pick there at $4,600. And then in terms of a really cheap pick, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to go with Anton Strawman from Tampa. He's only 33. Is he 3K exactly tonight? Or is he 3.1?
He is 3-1.
3-1, okay. So those are my individual picks. In terms of stacks, I really like the Nashville 2, which is Turris, Fiala, Smith. And then Tampa Bay 1, which is Stamkos, Kucherov, and Miller. And then in terms of a mini stack, the one I like the most is Josi and Fiala.
Right on. So we will mention we are now up on Stitcher. So go over there and subscribe to our Stitcher channel. We're almost up on iTunes. Should be soon. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. That's where you'll get all. That's where we do the most back and forth and letting you know everything's going on. And again, go to our website, puckluckfantasy.com. That's where you'll find all this great information. And thank you all for listening and watching. See you tomorrow.